Hi, my name is Michelle Hinton with Hinton Optimal Wellness. I want to talk a little bit again about insulin, and I want to kind of explain how insulin actually is produced and what its really its function is in the body. So the goal with insulin is that for every molecule of glucose, you have an insulin molecule. So the insulin should help that glucose move into the cell. But what happens is over time, sometimes stress can cause this. Also, hormone abnormalities or hormone imbalances can cause this. What can happen though, and especially the number one thing that we see is it's diet and lifestyle. So, your nutrition, it's what you're eating. The more carbs, the more sugars, the more highly processed food that we eat, that level of glucose in your blood raises. What that insulin is doing is that the pancreas produces insulin to lower that blood sugar. So it keeps that blood sugar nice and low in your bloodstream. But what happens over years and years of time is that when we develop insulin resistance, that pancreas is now putting out too much insulin to keep up with the blood sugar. So that's why your blood sugar may look normal, but your insulin level is high. It is the first stage of insulin resistance. The insulin is high because it's keeping that blood sugar nice and normal. But say you go 5, 10 years down the road and you've changed nothing, you're still eating a high processed food diet, you're eating a lot of carbs, simple carbs, you're eating a lot of fruits, those type of things that break down as a fructose. What can actually happen is that level is now the insulin is so high that now the sugar, actually the blood sugar or the glucose in the cell, is actually going outside of the cell. You cannot make enough insulin to keep up with it. So now the insulin is high because it's getting constantly pumped out, but now the glucose is high because the body just can't keep up with it. So now you have glucose going outside of the cell and causing inflammation. So when we're talking about diabetes and those type of diseases, what is happening is that there is inflammation outside of that cell because of the glucose that should not be there. So this is creating inflammation all over the body. This is why diabetics have diabetic retinopathy. This is why they lose limbs. This is why they get neuropathy. This is why they get a lot of these symptoms, is because this sugar inside or outside of the cell actually causes chronic inflammation. Same thing with Alzheimer's. Like I said before, it is a type 3 diabetes. It is an actual diabetes of the brain. There is too much glucose in that brain for it to function as it should.